What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to my Polish and Beauty Expo exclusive video. If you've been following along with my videos this week, I did mention, I believe in the Colorist Carol video. It has been a journey to get to this video. I've just, a quick abridged version. I've had to re-record face stuff for this week. We had a hurricane come through. We're all safe. Everything's fine. I got super behind with swatching. I still have a couple more to do that it's like whenever you've got these amazing plans and you're so excited for them and you cannot wait, it's like Murphy's Law, and it's just, if something can go wrong, it will, and then it'll put you behind so you can be stressed out, and it's going to be okay. I'm just taking a breather, and you know what happens happens. All I can do is my best. So with that said, if you don't know what the Polish and Beauty Expo is, it's an event, a huge event, hosted by none other than Christy of KBShimmer. I did mention this when I did the KBShimmer video for her new collection that launched July 1st of this month. So as a real quick deep dive, the Polish and Beauty Expo is a massive event held in Chicago, Tinley Park to be precise. And it is this event where many makers gather together. They usually will release collections early at the event if you wanted to get your paws on them first. And they also have limited edition polishes, which is what we're going to see in this video. A lot of times the limited edition polishes are exclusive to the event. You must go in order to get them. Now, with that said, if you are wanting them and you're not going, but you do have a friend or somebody who will do what we call ferrying, you can do that and they can grab it for you at the event and then ship it to you. In the Facebook group, there is a thread for those of you, if you don't know somebody going, there is a thread that some people are offering to do that super awesome service. So that also brings me to another thing about the exclusives is some makers, not all, but some of them will have overpour of their exclusives and they'll be offering in their shop, usually the weekend or the Friday when we all get back from the expo. So the expo itself is a 2-day event. On Saturday, we have a polish making class. We have a meet and greet in the evening, which I will be present at. And I can't wait for you all to see the dress I picked out. It's obnoxious and ridiculous and just super sparkly. And we've also got the actual expo, the shopping event. We also have a different level of tiered tickets that you can grab. There is a VIP ticket. You can come in an hour before normal shopping time and have first dibs on any small batches that makers may have or their exclusives, because the reality of the situation is that some of these booths, quite a few of them actually, this is my third year, do sell out of their, I've seen collections sell out, small batches, prototypes, limited editions, things like that. But so that would kind of benefit you to do the VIP ticket, and you also get a huge swag bag with that. All ticket levels do have a swag bag of some sort, though, just wanting to make that clear. Now, please know I'm not trying to say that the VIP 1 hour early shopping is, a do or die type of thing, in that there truly is plenty to go around. So 10 out of 10 recommend. It's magical. You're around people who are like-minded. If you're shy and anxious, hell, I am, believe it or not. But everyone is so freaking nice. It's wonderful. It's the most unicorn farting experience ever. Each of the brands, of course, going back to the exclusives, do send out polishes for swatching and for photographing, things like that. So in this video, I have a couple of the makers sent to me their exclusives. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go alphabetical order, and then I'm going to briefly mention in each segment for each brand what their potential like doorbusters or any quick deals that they're going to have at their table, just for a general idea. So I'm going to quit yammering. Let's dive into the swatches. Starting off with BCB Lacquers. This is Trick or Treat Yourself. This is the Doorbuster, will be $6 while supplies last. This is what I would describe as being a purpley pink, somewhat magenta base, loaded up with a variety of flakes. So in my rush to get this video out, I don't have some descriptions for some of the polishes. That's okay, we're gonna wing it and just watch the pretty polishes being swatched. Trick or Treat Yourself has a very dense formula to it. It starts off as a jelly, but it built beautifully to opacity for me at 2 coats. I'm gonna suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth this one out and get it nice, plump, and glossy. Now here is Beaux Rêves contributions. These are going to be limited edition in that they're only available at the show. If there is anything left over, they will be put up in the shop next week. Please note that these are not planned on being remade though. So if they come back, quantities are very limited. So we're going to start with the Moonlit Neon Trio. This is Lagoon and is what I would describe as being an almost periwinkle neon-ish type base. It's got lots and lots of shimmer loaded up in it. The Moonlit Trio is completely one-off pour. What she's got is what she's got at the show, and she is not planning on restocking these or remixing, what have you. So I'm really wanting to highlight that if you're wanting these, definitely either try to have somebody grab them for you or be there at the shop opening next week when the Overpour is put back. The trio is stunning and beautiful. Honestly, this trio is my favorite creations that Sarah has ever made, like hands down. These are gorgeous. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat across the board for all 3. They plumped up beautifully on that 3rd coat and they gave off this curly type of appearance. They dry down semi-gloss, so I think any top coat is perfect. Lilypad is this beautiful, to my eyes, more like a medium greenish type of base. And then we've got that blue shimmer that makes it all the more complicated for color accuracy. On my monitors here, this one's coming off pretty decent to what I'm seeing in person. It is stunning. It plumped up very well, again, on that 3rd coat. And they're just light enough to allow all that shimmer to shine through, but dense enough that when you go in for that 3rd coat, it takes on a more creamy appearance and it doesn't really look like a jelly, in my opinion, once it is fully opaque on the nail. Again, absolutely stunning. These are so freaking pretty. I love them so much, and glossing them up, it's a delight. This next one here is Lotus, and it's one of the polishes I'll actually be wearing at the meet and greet and or the actual show. I fell in love with this one too. And honestly, I wanted to wear either Lagoon or Lilypad because hello blue, but my dress is silver for the meet and greet and I have pink shoes to go with it. So I figured, okay, we'll just go with the pink. I'm thinking I'm going to layer one of the DOMs over this too to make it super sparkly. More on the DOMs in a minute, but Lotus also has a very similar formula to Lagoon and Lilypad, built up beautifully on that 3rd coat, and I finished with a glossy top coat, and it is chef's kiss. I know this is going to be skewed across monitors, so just in case, this is what I would consider a true neon pink. It's very vibrant, very in your face, and it is packed full of shimmer, but I think you can get a better idea of that on the video portion of the swatching. Beaux Rêves is also coming in with her actual PBE exclusives, whereas the Moonlit Trio is one-off pours. The PBE exclusives here are exclusive to the event. These are also not going to be remade. Tequila Sunrise is almost like this orangey type of base, and then it's got a strong shimmer going through it. It is lovely. It's on the warm side, so I do think it will play up against your skin tone, respectively, if you are warm or cool toned, medium, light, deep, what have you. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat to plump this one up. I think it's going to play up also in different lighting situations, whereas you will see more of that almost neutral orangey base that you can see on the edges of my nails here. Jetskis and Brewskis is what I would describe as being a bluish tinted base, and it's got just a load of shimmer and flakes in it. This has a very icy-like appearance as you build it to opacity, and because it's got a very plumping type formula to it, I'm going to strongly suggest stopping at that 2nd coat, and that's just because it's just very plump, for lack of better words. So you don't want to have any over buildup. And it's a softer, frosty looking appearance as you build it up. So honestly, I think it's just perfect at 2 coats. You'll want to finish with a glossy top coat, however, because it is so packed with goodies that it has a very flat type of dry down to it. I'm on a Boat is what I would classify as being a teal-ish type of base, and we've got silver reflective glitter and a very strong shifty shimmer going on here. This is another that I'm going to suggest going up to 3 coats, a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to seal it up. It builds wonderfully and it behaves like a true jelly in that depending on how many coats, whether 2 or 3, you're going to deepen out that base color. This is quite shimmery in indoor lighting, and once you get into sunshine, public bathroom lighting situations, or just bright lights in general, you will see the scattering of that dense scatter of silver reflective glitters going throughout. This will dry down on the thirsty, gritty side. So again, just another PSA, use a glitter smoothing top coat, as that's what I'm using in my swatches here and on my full hand shot. And then here we've got Fishin in the Dark. This is, again, these are all my personal descriptions for the most part. I would describe this one as being as an almost eggplant type of base color. And then we've got a chock full of shimmer experience going throughout the polish. Indoor lighting, you're going to see mostly this bluish type of cast to the shimmer, and at angles, you'll see it go over to this almost greenish type of aqua. So on my nail here, you can kind of see that. There's that greenish appearance with an easy shift over to blue, and there's a touch of a almost luminous type of purpley looking thing at the most extreme angles. This is jelly-like in how it builds up, but it built very easily to opacity for me, and I thought 3 coats and a glossy top coat was perfect. This will have a flat dry down because it is so packed full of shimmer. Cabin Fever is a light lavender pinky type of base. We've also got a lot of shimmer going here, and I'm seeing some hollow fine particles going throughout it too. It starts off on the sheer side, which, as you all know at this point, is going to mean it's quite versatile in how it can be worn, but wearing it by itself, it takes on this almost chromy type of shimmer appearance, and it built to opacity fully for me at 3 coats. Again, lighter formula, so don't worry about over buildup or anything like that, and finish with a good glossy top coat to exploit those tiny hollow particles. They're so dainty and pretty. I think this one's going to be flattering across skin tones. I really liked how this looked against my skin tone, given that I'm very warm undertoned, and this is quite cool in that chromy appearance from the shimmer. But the trio here is exclusive to the show. If there are overpours, she might have them in her shop next week. First one here is So Meowgical. This one's officially described as a pink to orange to gold to green, shifting large particle pink tinted shimmer with silver reflective glitters. This is so pretty, very jelly and squishy like on the nail and how it builds up. We have complete glitter bombs, however, so I'm going to strongly suggest using a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat as you apply these. My standard method for applying packed full reflective glitter finishes applies here, in that I would suggest starting off light on your first coat and then using the grit and texture from the previous layers to adhere the next coat. Dry down is excellent, so no need to take forever to wait for it to dry down. You'll see it get textured, and then finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. I strongly would also suggest using 3 coats to build these to opacity. Super Purrrty is a gold to green blue shifting large particle gold tinted shimmer with silver reflective glitter. This trio is so magical. It's so pretty and sparkly. If you are a bling lover, you're going to want to get your paws on this. Again, more information as we get closer to the official release of the other collections that are coming to the shop after the show, and how to get these. I'll make sure to put that in that video. So this one is a golden type of appearance compared to Meowgical, and we've got a dominant gold shift with an easy shift over to green and blue at the most extreme angles. These are just lovely, and I think across skin tones they're going to look fantastic. And then finally here we've got Pawsome. This is a pink, orange, gold, green shifting large particle blue tinted shimmer and silver reflective glitter. So the same thing going on here. We've got texture and grit from the reflective glitters and lots of sparkle when we gloss it up. This has more of a true blue tint to it, but it's very soft in how it builds up in terms of base color. So across the board, all three polishes, what's going to catch your eye is the Ultra Sparkle Shifty goodness. These are very complex and just chef's kiss if you love that sparkly appearance like I do. They're also going to be fantastic for toes. I love putting micro glitters and glitters on my toes. I think they look so good. Moving on to Jen and Bear's contributions, we've got two polishes that are duos with Zombie Claw polish, and then we also have her PBE exclusive. So starting off with one of the first duos with Zombie Claw. So first we've got Get In Loser, We're Going Shopping. This one's described as a violet jelly base with loads of purple to red and pink to orange shifting glass flakes. So both of the polishes that are a duo with Zombie Claw are obviously Mean Girls themed. I love these quotes so much. We're Going Shopping has a true jelly formula to it in that you can wear it at 2 coats and it'll take on a lighter appearance. But if you want something stronger, like a deeper base, you'll want to wear it at 3 coats. It'll give you this beautiful mosaic appearance with the flakes. Finish with a glossy top coat to plump it up and you're good to go. This is a little on the vampy side and the flakes give it this nice warm type of inner shifty glow. Just PS, the PBE exclusives for Jen and Berries, if there are any overpour after the show, will be available on her shop. She also has a new collection launching at the show, which I will have a video for that next week when it goes on the site. So don't freak out. I will see if I can get information if there are overpours when that video goes up. The next Mean Girls polish is She Doesn't Even Go Here, and that's described as a lavender crelly with pink, orange, gold, shifty shimmer, and scattered hollow flakes. This has a jelly formula to it, but it builds up like a crelly in appearance. It'll take on this almost creamy type of look to it, and it builds very well. So I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat to plump this one up too, as it does start off on the lighter side, and you are shimmery good. And then the last PBE exclusive is I Will Find You Again. This is, in my own words, more of a purpley type of base. It's like a cool tone type purple, and it's got a warm type of strong shifty shimmer going throughout it. It builds very well, and similar to She Doesn't Even Go Here, it starts off on the more like lighter jelly side, but as you build it up on the 3rd coat, it takes on that crelly-ish type of appearance. So we've also got this chrome looking effect as you build it up too. It's like this metallic look, very pretty, and it's quite cool in the overall appearance because of it. So because of that, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty flattering on multiple skin tones, especially if you are warm undertoned like myself. But we do have a very flat dry down, so make sure you use a plumping glossy top coat. And here is KBShimmer's exclusives. There is a quad of them, and there is a Doorbuster too. So if there's overpours, as far as I understand, these will be offered up on the site. The first one is Back to Chicago and is, in my words, a super strong shimmery base loaded up with, I'm seeing some hollow flecks, like some hollow particles densely scattered throughout. As you build up Chicago, it's going to take on this metallic type of appearance. It's frosty and chrome-like and so good. Honestly, I think if you have just slightly shorter nails and or you polish on the heavier side, I think 2 coats is perfect. But if you're like me and you tend to go in for 3 coats normally and you want that more plump type of appearance, then I think 3 coats is perfect too. So 2 or 3, depending on how you polish, all that good stuff. This is incredibly flattering, quite shifty on that shimmery thing going on in the backdrop there, and very hollow. So finish with a good glossy top coat and you are perfect. Exponential Growth is a purpley base loaded up with shifty shimmer and some hollow goodness going throughout it. Purple lovers, this one's going to be for you. It builds so well, and it's just gorgeous. This also has a somewhat metallic feel as you build it up because it's so packed full of shimmer, and that hollow effect popped so good in brighter lights. I took it into my kitchen after I swatched this one, it was still on my nails, and I went to go in there and grab a drink, and I was just marveling at how glowy this is, especially under kitchen lights. So again, purple lovers, this one's for you. It builds up almost Crelly-like in how dense it is. So I think lighter coats is going to be your friend. 3 coats if you paint like myself, or maybe 2 coats if you tend to go in a touch heavier. Out of Control is a neon orange base full of shifty shimmer, and that is my official description from yours truly. This has a Crelly type of formula, but it applies like a cream. It's ultra smooth and buttery, easy to build up. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect here too. I personally went in for 3 coats because I have wide load nails, and it plumped up very well for me at that 3rd coat. It's so packed full of shimmer. You'll want to be just the tiniest bit mindful of your brush strokes. Exploit that paddle brush to prevent any potential little brush strokes across the nail. When you go in with your glossy top coat, it's pretty forgiving though. You're not really going to see it, but I just figured it was enough to make note of it, as I, on the 2nd coat, made note of, okay, going soft on my brush strokes. And then lastly for KBShimmer is What the L. I would describe this one as being a minty type of base, kind of pale minty base. We've got gold reflective glitter here, and we've also got shifty shimmer. Now I want to note that I stopped at 2 coats for this, which was mind-boggling to me. As Crellys like this, I will always take up to 3 coats. But we've got an incredibly plumping formula, and it built very well on the 2nd coat. And I knew because of the reflective glitters, I was going to need a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. So I stopped at 2 coats, and you can see on my full hand shot there, after my top coats applied, it was beautifully opaque. So very impressed with the formula here. This is also really flattering, and the shimmer is larger particle, so it will give you this more obvious type of shift in person. Monarch Lacquer has 3 exclusives for us. So we've got 1 Doorbuster and 2 PBE exclusives. This first one is Elevator Glam Jam, and it's described as a taupe base with purple shimmer and shifty teal flakes. So this, to me, the base itself, that taupey appearance, is very warm. So on myself, I think it pulled kind of neutral on myself. So I think this is going to play up against your skin tone. I chose to stop at 2 coats as it's very plumping in how it builds up, and the flakes are so dense and chonky good. They're super obvious, so I didn't want to overbuild it. You'll want to use a glossy top coat with this to smooth it out. If your top coat is on the thinner side in terms of viscosity, you might want to use a very thin layer of glitter smoother just in case. Cutie is her Doorbuster. This one's going to be $5 at her table until supplies run out. This is described as a gorgeous deep blue shimmer with contrasting pink glitter. So overall, the formula to Cutie is almost like a topper. It starts off pretty light, almost sheer, but you can absolutely build this to full opacity. With that said, I would strongly suggest using the texture from the previous coat, almost like a reflective glitter application. I had no issues getting those glitters out of the bottle. They picked up very well on the brush. I had no need for any like super careful placement with my water marbling tool. I was able to do all of it with the brush in the polish itself. So you can kind of see me doing that. I'm just manipulating it, overworking the 3rd coat here to make sure I get that nice perfect scatter of the pink glitters and exploit any type of opacity I possibly could. Now, I didn't want to overwork it so much that I kind of ruined that 3rd coat and gave myself bald spots from the shimmer. So I chose to just do 3 or 4 glitters carefully placed from the brush. Again, no issues with fishing here, just to make sure I had everything nice and even for my photos. You'll want to finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, as this is textured from the glitters and a touch uneven. So smooth this baby out. And then the last PBE exclusive from Monarch is Sears over Willis Tower. This one's described as a lush magnetic magenta that pulls a striking chromatic red when magnetized. I agree with that. This is stunning, and completely honest, it looks beautiful unmagnetized and magnetized. So wear it how you want. It's got a very smooth formula, almost metallic-like in how it applies. Go in light on your brush strokes. Don't overwork it to prevent any potential streaking. And you're good to go. I tested it out with the Magic Magnetic Top Coat, which is my preference for how I do magnetic polishes, and it worked very well. You'll just want to make sure to magnetize it just for a couple extra seconds, as the magnetic pigment itself felt a touch heavy. Finish with the glossy top coat and you are good to go. Overall, the magnetic pigment is more on the subtle side, but it's still quite noticeable in person. I think the video and my swatches give you a good idea of that. And moving on to Psyche Minerals, we have a trio of exclusives. I did ask Molly that if she's got any overpours, she said she will put these up in her shop after the show. So I've got official descriptions for the trio, and this first one is Sweet Home Chicago, described as a red-based jelly with magenta to orange to gold Aurora shimmer. This is lovely, and I have a feeling it's going to get skewed across monitors. So just in case, I think it's more magenta in person. If this is pulling super, super, super red on your monitor, it's more magenta. I think the red is coming out from the shimmer going on here. I think there's some color play happening between the Aurora shimmer and that magenta base that's kind of warming it up and pulling it a touch red, but I think it's on the fence right there. It is magenta. I really want to point that out. It has a lovely gold shift too at the most extreme angles, like what you see in my macro shot there. My Kind of Town is described as a magenta jelly base polish with blue Aurora shimmer, the same that's in Memories of an Angel, packed with pink reflective glitter. So we've got two reflective glitters in the Psyche Minerals PBE trio, and they're so lush. This one's a cool toned type of magenta base, so I have to say, toot my own horn, it plopped really well against my skin tone. Medium to deep skin tones, this is going to look fantastic on you. You'll want to use a glitter smoothing top coat in addition to your glossy top coat to smooth out all the texture and grit from those reflective glitters, and you'll be sparkly good. This is so beautiful, and that blue shimmer is actually pretty obvious in person, like what you saw in my full hand shot there. And then the last one from Psyche is Windy City Blues. This one's described as a watery teal multi-chrome base with hints of purple at the most extreme angles and loaded with silver reflective glitter. So we have a lighter formula, just a touch lighter in my opinion than My Kind of Town, but it builds beautifully to opacity on the third coat. I went in incredibly light on the first two coats and then went in somewhat normal for myself on the third coat, and no issues building it up to full coverage. Again, you'll want to make sure to use the grit and texture from your previous coat to adhere the next coat. Dry time was great on these, so no need to wait, 5-10 minutes or whatever, just like a minute or two. By the time I got to my next fingers, it was pretty well drying down. You'll see it get on this like whitish type of appearance as it dries, and that's the grit that you're seeing from the glitter. And Rogue Lacquer has a lot of pretties for us. We've got her Mariah trio, which is inspired after Mariah of Great Lakes Lacquer, who will not be at the show, unfortunately, but these are based off of creations of hers, and these are so lush. This first one here is I Miss Your Face. It's described as a berry-based multi-chrome with purple to blue magenta shift. This is so vampy type shifty in person. It's lovely. It builds up super smooth to opacity at 2 coats, though I chose to plump it up on a third thin coat and it was just fine. Overall, it's very chrome in how it behaves, so you'll want to use a plumping glossy top coat to essentially gloss it up. The Mariah trio will be back in her shop if there's overpours, so I just want to note that. I'll have a big ass Rogue Lacquer video next week too. Now, the next Mariah LE is Little Ripples. This is a dusty teal crelly with pink color shifting flakes and black metallic flakes. This is true crelly formula. Builds really well between 2 to 3 coats, depending on your preference and how you polish. It also self-leveled very well too. Now, it is more jelly in terms of the base color, in that if you wanted to stop at 2 coats and have a lighter look, you absolutely can. I think the flakes will give you decent coverage in general, but that third coat will build you up to more crelly appearance. Little ripples may need a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, depending on the top coat that you are using, as it did have some texture to how it dried down. And here we've got Shenanigans. This is a rich purple base with strong fuchsia, purple, and subtle shifts of green and orange shimmer with hollow metallic flakes. This is stunning. It's just purple goodness. And again, I'm always going to say that as somebody who isn't a super purple person. I love when they're done well, and I love when they have this strong shimmery look to them, like this one, and then the KBShimmer purple. I like that inner glow. Shenanigans also has quite a bit of hollow flecks going throughout it. I think my swatches, my photos pulled a touch blue, so please note in person this is more of a glowy, rich, true purple base. And then Rogue is also bringing a Doorbuster. This one is her $6 Doorbuster. It's pretty ugly, and I did get confirmation that this is going to be limited, and that what she's got at the show is what she's got at the show. It will not be returning in any way or form. I don't know if there's going to be, if that means that there's going to be any overpour. We'll see. This one's described as a prugly khaki base, leaning peach with green to blue shimmer and hollow flakes. I gotta say, I'm not seeing a prugly here, and I mean that in the best way possible. I normally don't like pruglies, and maybe this is me saying I do like pruglies. I don't know. But this is gorgeous, and it's almost like a springy, weddingy sort of color. I thought it popped really well against me. It's super strong metallic shimmer, and I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect for opacity. It does have a flat dry down. Now we have 2 limited editions that are also going to be limited edition to PBE, and if whatever is left over will be offered up at the show too. So the LE Flake Bomb is perfect, and it's literally Rogue Lacquer in a bottle. It builds to opacity at 3 light coats, and if you wanted to use this as a topper or layer it between a jelly, I think you absolutely could. This is going to be ridiculously versatile however you want to wear it. It has a wonderful metallic, reflective looking appearance as you build it up to opacity if you wear it like this, of course. And you'll want to finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat regardless, especially if you wear it like this, as it does have a uneven and texture because, of course, we're layering flakes upon each other. And then here we've got the limited edition Squish. This is described as a periwinkle squishy crelly base with coral pink green color shifting flakes. This has an almost milky-like appearance in how it builds up. I think 3 coats is perfect, and it's a softer appearance with a strong, warm type of aurora glow to those flakes. It dries down flat, but not necessarily textured per se like Flake Bomb, so I will suggest any glossy top coat to smooth it out. And then we have the Mermaids in the Lake Trio. This one's Mermaid Scales. It's described as a metallic flake bomb blend of teal, blue, and purple with hollow flakes. Very much like Flake Bomb, you can wear this as a topper. You can wear it however you want, and I think it'll give you different appearances. For the sake of how it's intended, I chose to wear it up to 3 coats to build it to full opacity. This is lovely, and I so love when Rogue does these types of finishes. This one and like Flake Bomb, what have you, this is, I don't know, I just think these are like Rogue Lacquer in a bottle. These are so ridiculous, and I classify these as being Rachel's signature shades. You don't want to miss out on Mermaid Scales. The second one in the Mermaids in the Lake limited edition series is Shelltastic. This one's described as a white-based crelly with green to purple UCC flakes, purple glass flakes, and hollow micro flakes. This is crelly good, and I think it built beautifully at 2 coats. It has an ultra buttery, smooth, creamy feel to the overall formula, and even myself, Miss 3-Coat Lady, I saw 2 coats and I was like, I can stop here. This is great. You may want to use a glitter smoothing top coat in addition to your glossy top coat though, as it has a touch of thirstiness from all of the flakes. And then here, lastly, we have the Siren Song, the last polish in the Mermaids in the Lake limited trio. This is described as a blue contrasting shimmer with underlying tones of purple and hollow flakes. So we have a chrome-like buildup with this. I'm going to strongly suggest 3 coats for opacity. You might have a soft, like faux type of opacity on the second coat, but go up to the 3rd coat and you'll thank me later. It will build to a more true chrome-looking appearance. It's got a really flat dry down though, so you'll want to finish with a plumping glossy top coat, and it'll be perfect blue glowy goodness. And we're going to wrap up this experience with the Willet Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. BCB Lacquers works very well as a topper. I think it's going to be great over darker colors. The Beaux, Rêves trio, all of them topper so good. And I'm just going to make a disclaimer that the trio, the Moonlit trio here, I don't know, as beautiful as they look over dark colors, I'm just like, don't topper these because they're so freaking pretty by themselves. So your discretion on that, but personally, I think you're dehorning a unicorn toppering the Moonlit trio. Now, Beaux Rêves PBE exclusives, these also work very well too. And I'm not going to side eye you too much if you want to topper these because they're glorious. And I don't think that you are taking away anything by toppering these, as they performed so good over black. So feel free to get creative with them. They are tinted, but I still think you can kind of play up with them, as these had more of a jellier type of feel as opposed to crelly like the Moonlit trio. Fishin in the Dark looked really good over black, and Cabin Fever. I was surprised at this one, that I figured it was going to be too opaque, but not quite. If you go in lighter, I think it'll work. And then the Dom, of course these work. So it's So Meowgical, this one, and then the Moonlit Pink from Beaux is what I'm going to wear on my nails. And I think it's going to make a fantastic combination. So all 3 of Dom's exclusives, just, I mean, you can go ham on these and wear them any which way. Jen and Berries, of course these work. Personally, I think this first one here would look well really over black and matchy match. And then the other 2, because they've got that chrome type of look with the shimmer, I think you can also do matchy match colors and dark colors. And I think you'll be just fine. You're going to exploit the shimmer really nice. Especially I Will Find You Again. I liked that one over black a lot. The KBShimmers also topper and pass the test. This first one looks stunning over black. Exponential Growth also works very well. However, I don't think you're doing this one justice toppering it. And that's just my opinion. Same thing with Out of Control. I think it works. I think you can absolutely layer this, especially over other oranges. I think it's going to be really cool for the fall. But I don't know. Same thing with What the L. I just don't think you're doing them super justice. But they work, and, you know, to each their own. Monarch's Elevator Glam Jam looks stunning. If you don't know, the elevator at the hotel, we almost got stuck in last year. So that's nice, ominous vibes from Monarch there. Thank you, Adrian. Cutie works really well as a topper. I think this is almost like, it looks like a topper on its own. You can put this over anything. Sears over Willis Tower, I don't think you're doing this justice toppering it. Yes, it works. Yes, it looks really cool. But when you see it in person and how glowy it looks, I think you'll agree with me. The Psyche minerals also work too. The 2 glitters look fantastic, and the shimmer here, Sweet Home Chicago, is amazing over black. Now, in terms of the glitter, I think if you're going to wear either the magenta one here or the blue one over black, please note that the bases are respectively tinted, so you will see them if you do medium or light type of colors. Just throwing that out there. The Rogues, now we have a lot of different finishes from Rogue. So this, the Mariah trio works, but I don't know. Little Ripples looks pretty cool, but the multi-chrome one I think is too dense. Shenanigans looks really good too. It looks very different, but I don't know. I just liked those by themselves. The Doorbuster is stunning over black. You can get real creative over this. I think Pretty Ugly is going to look fantastic over white too. Flake Bomb, as I said previously, you can use this as a topper. There's a ton of ways you can use this. Squish is interesting to me. I want to say it works, but in person, I could see that little bit of a purple cast to the black. So just be mindful of that. Mermaid Scales is like Flake Bomb. It works beautifully as a very dense topper. You'd need to dry brush if you want it more scattered though over your base. Shelltastic is too crelly-like. I think you're going to have a little bit of difficulty because it's going to take on a milky appearance. And Siren Song is chrome goodness, so it works very well. Lots and lots of beautiful pretties. I will have all the information linked below. I'll also link you to that very special Facebook group I keep talking about. So let me know in the comment section, are you going? Are you attending? Did you go in when it was in Tennessee, which I was at that one. And then I went to last year's, which was also at Tinley Park. They're all going to be at Tinley Park, just moving forward, just throwing it out there. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.